What happens when we exercise free will? All right, that is today's question, and that is number 60 on the list of the 144 fractal faculties of the Tree of Life. If you'd like to get a complete listing of those fractal faculties all annotated, just click the link in the description. I'll send it out to you for free. I will caution that there are a few updates that need to be made to that list, but it's 95+% accurate. So it works as a good guide for you to be a companion to all these different videos that I'm doing. Also, if you'd like to brush up on your Tree of Life, just watch my video, Tree of Life, A Short Introduction, or Tree of Life, An Introduction. And those will both get you up to speed enough to be able to watch all these videos. Okay, now, when we're looking at number 60, what happens when we exercise free will? As you might have guessed, we are still in the sixth sphere. And now just remember, the Tree of Life is more or less, it's a map of our consciousness. And each one of these spheres or circles or different regions on the tree represents one of our 12 faculties of consciousness, or abilities of consciousness, capabilities of consciousness, or aspects of consciousness. And particularly here, the sixth sphere represents our free will faculty. And that is what we'll be talking about today, our free will faculty and what that really means. And in the short version, what it really means is our ability to pay attention and our ability to make decisions. Now, unfortunately, under normal circumstances, we are paying attention, but we're paying attention to the lower part of the tree. And so we're paying attention to the 8th, 9th, and 10th spheres especially, as these spheres are really our comfort zone. This is what we grew up with. This is what we're accustomed to. And so it's very easy for us to fall into paying attention to, the scuttlebutt and whatever is going on here with the 9th, 10th, and 8th sphere. But we also have the ability to choose. Free will is the ability to make decisions as well. And so we can choose to avert our attention from this lower area and turn ourselves around, kind of like Plato's cave style. Turn ourselves around and actually face something that is more real, which is our higher spiritual aspects. Unfortunately, this is a difficult task because it's scary, because it now means that we're looking into the unknown. We go from paying attention to our comfort zone to now paying attention to an area, region that's largely unknown, the whole upper area of the tree. To start with, it's unknown. Gradually, we'll learn more and more about it. But at first, it's totally unknown. Okay, so that's really the sixth sphere aspect of this. Now, when we fractalize the tree, when we move from the 12 faculties of consciousness here to the 144 fractal faculties, what we're really doing is we're taking the whole tree and we're shrinking it down to size so that it fits onto each one of the spheres. Okay, so we're going to be taking each one of the 12 faculties of consciousness and dividing it into its 12 mini faculties or fractal faculties. So we have 12 faculties here, mini faculties, 12 mini faculties here, 12 mini faculties here, and so on. So that adds up to 144 fractal faculties. So when we do that here with the sixth sphere, divide it into its 12 fractal faculties, number 60 is referring to the 0 sphere inside of the sixth sphere. So we're talking about right here, the 0 sphere within the sixth sphere. And you may recall that the 0 sphere is all about nothingness, and it's the mystery. It is not part of the universe. And a lot of times when it's a fractal of one of the other spheres, it has to do with the hidden meaning of it's hidden. It has to do with the hidden meaning of this sphere. So we're kind of talking about the hidden meaning of the sixth sphere. And this one is called Pay to Make Free. Stage number 60 is about how our free will, our human essence, boils down to paying attention and making decisions, and how doing so will put us at odds with the prevailing winds of society. Free will requires us to turn around our attention and steadfastly face our fears, the unknown. If we are subject to natural laws, then it follows that total freedom is a phony fallacy. Free will is not free. We must pay attention, and we must make decisions. Attention is a filter of awareness, conscious awareness. Pay attention, make decisions. That's what we do. That's what awareness does. But attention is fleeting, and it's impossible to keep it steady without a lot of training. I am awareness. I choose, I make the decision to pay attention. And what direction to pay attention to. That is free will. We are inspiring to others as we climb the mountain of freedom, of free will. But once we reach the top, we get the shaft, and we'll no longer be supported by the consensus, by the organized society. They will shun us and give us the shaft all the way from the top of the mountain to the base of the valley, from the peak of the octahedron to the nadir. So it will be uphill on both sides of 6. Though we're beginning to tire, we must get ready to keep climbing. After we get shafted, we need to pick up the pace. We started our spiritual path without much resistance, but now our retreat is about over the target. The frantic, breathless, seething, apoplectic gatekeepers of the consensus will now see us as a threat to their unfreedom. We'll be excommunicated. We'll go missing. We may hear that we're a moron, that we are going through a phase, that we've gone batty and are a lone nutter. Or are we just following reality where it naturally leads us? Sacrificial lambs must graze against the grain. We're excommunicated and ejected, but roll with it, because now we can choose to more intuitively live according to divine laws, even as the bottom seems to drop out of our so-called lives. That's okay, because we are figuring out so many things as we are turned around now, paying attention to our spiritual aspects as they develop. It is less comfortable than when we paid attention to our lower aspects, our conditionings, our belief systems, our likes and dislikes, our addictions and attachments. But developing our spiritual faculties is so much more rewarding, as it is so much more real. But first, free will is required to dominate all of these lower aspects. Use our training. Our deep foray into ethics is now tuned in. Now that we are tuned in and turned around, we no longer need organized religion to protect us, to dictate to us. We can deal with the Creator directly, with no intermediary. We take responsibility for our beliefs, even on difficult questions. We must become more independent because as we get more and more adept, more and more over the target, we'll get more and more obscure, inaccessible, and censored, shamed and smeared and shafted, down to the bottom, underground. But roll with it. Okay, that is the zero fractal of the sixth sphere, number 60, pay to make free. And that, again, I've mentioned this before. It's like the Bob Dylan song Idiot Wind. You find out once you've reached the top that you're on the bottom. And so that's also depicted here on the tree. You can see that this is really a pyramid. You know, with this is the base of the pyramid, and this here is the peak, the apex of the pyramid. But a pyramid is actually only half. A pyramid is half of an octahedron. An octahedron is got both a peak and a nadir, a valley. So that's what's really happening is we're climbing to the top of the mountain, but when we get to the top of the mountain, we get shafted all the way to the bottom. And so now instead of being at the top, we're at the bottom and we have to climb again. So here we're climbing from 7 to 6, but then when we get to the top, we get shafted down to the bottom, and then we have to climb again to get from 6 to 5. So that is kind of how it's mapped out on the tree. Okay, so we'll say more about all of this later on, but for now, thanks for tuning into the video. Please press the like button, share the video with others, subscribe to the channel. You can also click the link in the description again to get my free copy of the 144 Fractal Faculties. You can also donate to me directly through Venmo and Cash App. Make constructive comments in the comment section and keep track of me because I will be rolling out some more videos here. Now that we're up to number 60 and that we're through with the sixth sphere, I'm going to be putting a couple different videos up. One that has to do with diet and nutrition, one has to do with, two that have to do with that, and then maybe some other ones that have to do with just some of my notes that I've gleaned from rereading the book Annotated, which is, in my opinion, the best source on the Tree of Life. He's got, the author has about 4, probably by now 5, 6, 7 different versions of the Annotated, but this is just coming from the first version, and I'm going to try to go over some of the notes on that and just kind of fill in some of the blanks that maybe I missed, because I read Annotated for the first time maybe 25 years ago, and I've read it a few times since then, but it's good to brush up on that, and I'll be sharing my notes on that here in the near future. So stay tuned for all that. Otherwise, have a great day. We'll see you soon.